Hi, I'm Nancy, and today I'd like to talk about the Navajo National Monument that you see right behind me. At the end of Arizona Highway 564, Shanto, Arizona, was once home to the Cañeta ancestral pueblo in prehistoric times. The Navajo National Monument stands. A huge cliff was made into a dwelling that was built to protect the people from falling into cannibalism because of the lack of coverage and no good place to grow food. The streams and soiled ground helped with the farming and provided a safe coverage for the people until the climate change on them, and it kind of caused a heavy drought. Hopi, San Juan, Southern Paiute, Zuni, and Navajo have all lived in this huge cliff, where they built homes into the dwellings made from natural sandstone alcoves. Bedekin, Keat Steel, which you see right behind me, and Inscription House are the ruins to explore in these huge canyons, with Keat Steel covering the largest, which was stumbled upon by Byron Cummings, an archaeologist, and John Wetherill, a local rancher, while finding the other two ruins, Bedekin and Inscription House. Bedekin, which means house built on ledge, measures 452 feet high and 370 feet wide and fits about 135 rooms. Inscription House is a bit smaller and carries its name for writings and painted pictures on the wall that was discovered by Wetherill. Only had 74 rooms. You can find this information on editors of encyclopedia and much more on the internet, which I will include in my inscription. These two remarkable ruins were closed off to the public and can only be viewed a few times during the summer and only with a guide. Due to its fragile being and state, the National Commissioner is trying to preserve it as much as possible, so please do be careful when you decide to visit. And you can find all this information on nps.gov. While doing my own research on this monument, I must say the history behind these tribes are much more interesting than meets the eye, such as the Hopi tribe, that have been known to encounter some extraordinary beings or extraterrestrial. And let us not forget that the first settlers were known as cannibalism or cannibals before discovering the big cliff dwelling. The pueblo was guided to the center place, and by using their feet with the earth, it would lead them there. Once they researched the center place, they practiced rituals and were told to take care of the earth by Massa, the creator. These and many other stories about the first settlers of America are painted on many walls of the caves and dwellings, such as the Navajo Monument. To see this amazing pueblo architecture, you will need to travel to Shanto, Arizona. The national park is open year-round for visitors, excluding major holidays. Also keep in mind the time change for park hours, of course. Take a tour and walk around the dwellings, built into the natural alcove cliff by human hands between the hours of 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Run your fingers around the depth of detail that was sculptured for shelter, to grow food, to raise families. However, be careful not to rub or place your hands where the drawings of the natural rock art paint displays. It may destroy or damage where no one has ever touched since the first settlers. Learn a piece of our history as Americans, walking through the livelihood of the prehistoric civilization of Pueblo ancestry, which turned into a national monument in 1909. Place yourself during those times and relate to the way they grew their food, built for shelter, and lived amongst each other off land itself. It is important to remember those that walked the earth before us and what resources they only were available to before technology, so that we can look to the future and know that those after us will look back at our civilization and see our footprints in life as well. In the end, it is not enough to just have monuments put up and forgotten about, but to preserve them and to allow the public to visit, embrace the moment, and in some cases, even to touch. Of course, in most cases, with the delicacy of such monuments, it is best to just observe and learn from. The need for special places built or preserved is to teach us about our past and to teach us about those that were here before us. I believe that monuments are important, and even some monuments that are disagreeable amongst people, I feel should be in discretion. Just they should still be talked about and why. It is important to know who we are and where we came from and everything that we know. Well, this concludes my documentary. And again, I will include all information that I found, these beautiful pictures, and my resources about, as well as where to go see this beautiful monument. Thank you.